Warm greetings to all my viewers. Hope you are safe and healthy. So, here I am with a revised version of the last lesson, the first chapter from Flamingo, written by French novelist Alphonse Daudet. My request to everyone, as you see, it's Alphonse Daudet. A quick view about the author. He is a French novelist and a short story writer. As you notice, he was a school teacher. So, the chapter poignantly discusses the pupil and the teacher relationship in its true colors. The Prussian soldiers drilling. So, the story shows that the last lesson is set in the days of Franco-Prussian War 1870-1871, and this slide portrays the Prussian soldiers drilling proudly with their national flag after defeating the French army. This highlights the background of the story, how there was a conflict between the Second French Empire and the Kingdom of Prussia. The other reasons and details are mentioned in the slide. Please go through it. This is the map of France, and the district Alsace and Lorraine are highlighted with red color. These are the border areas of France which were conquered by the Prussian soldiers. Though it is the first chapter of Flamingo, but the title is very appropriate because it is the last lesson by the teacher as well as for the students. Second, this last lesson highlights the human tendency to postpone things for future. Let's discuss the theme. It discusses the procrastinating things, which means postponing things. It also emphasizes the importance of education and reflects the unfair practice of showing excessive pride in one's own language. This is the map of Germany, and the readers are informed that French districts have been captured by the Germans. The new master was about to come the next day to teach German instead of French. The story reflects the effect of this news on the people of Alsace. This is a scene from the Franco-Prussian war field. This is a classroom scene which shows a classroom of the older generations when a teacher without a ruler was unimaginable in the class. You might have heard a cliche, spare the rod, spoil the child, or in Hindi, लातों के भूत बातों से नहीं मानते. Anyway, it's a past. Now the things have changed. The teachers have become facilitators. This is the picture about the student Franz, who is reluctant to go to school as he did not know even a single word on participles. Wanted to run away. The chirping of birds, marching of Prussian soldiers was much more tempting. However, poor thing, he had to hurry off to school. He noticed a crowd at the bulletin board. He was shocked because for the past 2 years, all bad news came from there. Here, when he sees the scene at the town hall apart from the bulletin board, he is shocked. when Watcher, the blacksmith, taunts him that there is plenty of time to reach the school. He feels that Watcher was making fun of him, so he hurriedly ran to the school. What did he see? He felt the unusual silence at the school, as if it was a Sunday morning. Everyone was quiet. M. Hamel, the teacher, strange behavior, as well as the classroom scene surprises the poor child. M. Hamel is excessively kind to him, in spite of the reason that he was late. M. Hamel had dressed very nicely, which he used to put on special occasions: green coat, frilled shirt, embroidered silk cap. More to notice was that the back benches were not empty. They were occupied by villagers. And when he lent his ears, he realized M. Hamel's revelation that it was his last lesson in French, as orders from Berlin had come to teach only German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. He would be leaving the school next day. Initially, these words were a thunderclap to him, but later he was shocked by the sudden turn of events. He regretted for ignoring his lessons. His books, which were a nuisance earlier, now were his old friends. He empathized with M. Hamel as he was going away. He realized that the villagers had gathered there to express their gratitude towards the teacher for his 40 years of faithful service. On his turn, Franz was asked to recite the rules of participles, but he mixed up on the first words and stood still. M. Hamel did not scold him, rather commented on the human tendency of postponing things, thinking there is plenty of time. The teacher makes everyone realize the irony of being Frenchmen, yet they were not able to read and write their own mother tongue. Here, he praises French language and calls it most beautiful language of the world. He asks them to guard it and never forget it. He took a lesson in grammar also. Franz was amazed to see how well he understood everything. Perhaps he never paid much attention, and M. Hamel had never explained everything with so much patience. M. Hamel gave new copies to all the students, written France, Alsace, France, Alsace beautifully on them to arouse the patriotic feelings in them. M. Hamel hears every lesson to the last. Even students exhibit rare attention. Even the beetles fail to distract them. Unusual quietness is in the atmosphere, and it could be felt everywhere. Everyone is aroused to emotions when the class draws to its close. M. Hamel sat motionless in his chair as the church clock struck 12. The trumpets of Prussian soldiers could be heard. After 40 years of faithful service, Now he was asked to leave. He wanted to say something, but voice choked. Overwhelmed with emotions, he turned to the blackboard and wrote as large as he could, Vive la France, which means long live France, and signaling everyone, he asked them to leave. Message is loud and clear. Do not postpone the things for tomorrow, because one never knows when the doomsday will dawn and bring an end to our hopes and aspirations. So here are some practice assignments. Do solve them to check your understanding. Thank you.